was losing the fight in my head. Had me thinking I had no left. Really feeling I'm just a mess. Don't believe all the things they say. And you see all the pain they read. It was wrong. And I'm mad that I gave you a thought, cause you know you was wrong. And I'm looking at God and I see that he's still on the throne. He told me. And I'm looking at God and I see that he's still on the throne. He told me the reason I'm living. I know that I'm gifted, I know that I'm on. And I'm keeping the vision strong, got in my dogs. And you can't tell nothing. I get the I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling blessed. My best, I'm giving God all my time and all of my mind. I know that he wanted.
You love it. If you don't love what you do, stop.
You know, wow. And so now it's like coming from an environment where, you know, you like you said, you either get into stuff you ain't got no business doing. But I had a cousin, in the streets, and he pulled me to the side, and he said, man, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Even if you had the thought, your heart is not built for this. You need to just stay in the books and stay playing this football thing. That's how he said it. And he said, let the rest take care of itself. He said, but you're not built for that. I didn't take it as disrespect. I took it as, he was looking out for me. And so with that being said, in Jacksonville, it's like either you going to make it in sports or you just going to, not make it at all and find yourself living in poverty. And I just had this firm belief that I'm the one to help my family and pull them out. So.
Yeah, I had a similar cousin that he grew up in Brooklyn, and I grew up in the suburbs in Silver Spring, but my mother came from Brooklyn, and we would always go to Brooklyn pretty much every other weekend. And I'd always hang out with, shout out to Kieran, I know you're listening, but I actually put him in my book as well. We'd go out and party, drink and all that. And even if I thought of doing it, he would look at me and say, you ain't going down there, right? You need to focus on ball. You got a great opportunity. What? You need to be focusing on ball. This ain't your life, And it's a lot like you. There was kind of an essence though where you kind of took it like, oh, what am I soft? But there's that need for, and this is for anybody listening, there's that need, especially for us as young Black men, there's that need to where if you're in the streets to stop someone from going down that route, to be honest and say, yo, you don't got the heart for this life. You don't have the heart for this life. And you need to tell them that, like, you have to do that. It's so important because we can kind of, as young Black men, we can kind of feel like we're not as Black enough if we're not out in the streets and not doing. But if you have someone who is in the streets that tells you that makes the world of difference. It's that thing right there. So I'm glad you brought that up. And shout out to Cousin for essentially saving your life. If you really think about it, he saved your life with that statement.
He did, and I really appreciate my cousin, man. That's love, You always question how they show it, but in that essence, he showed it, and I really appreciate it. So,
right. But anyway, so you're a sophomore in high school, and then did you have to transfer again your junior year? How'd the high school playing career end for you?
So this is what happened. So going into my junior year, I had the opportunity to transfer again. And as you can see, the pattern from high school and college is going to be similar when we get to that.
Right.
To that part of the story. But when I got to my junior year, I had the opportunity to transfer again. But there was a new office coordinator that came in. He saw the work I was putting in. And he convinced me to stay. Of course, my good friend who's the quarterback, he also convinced me. He said, all right, this is our year. And so I stayed all the way up until before one of the biggest rival games here in Jacksonville, Florida. The biggest one is Lee versus Jackson. And then the next one I was a part of, which is Reigns and Reebok. So before the rival game, the coach who I just, talked about, who cared more about, my brain, he told me, this is his words. Now, mind you, I had a 3.1 my freshman year in high school, came to this school, focused more on football, and was letting my grades suffer. And because I was trying to prove this man wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I got all the necessary tools. I'm the first one there, the last one to leave, type of mentality. My grades went from a 3.1 to a 2.0. and I was in the IB program, so that it really suffered. And so I showed him my report card, and his words was, "These guys around you need, a football scholarship more than you, because I'm trying to get these guys out of the streets into the college." Now, at the time, my mindset was like, man, that's selfish of you. That's favoritism. But now looking back, I respect that coach because I understand now. If it's an opportunity for another man to get out of a toxic or, a disruptive pattern of life and be the first of his family, why not? So the older me supported that move, but at that time, the younger me was like, wow. And so he told me, he said, these guys, all they got is sports. All they got is football. He said, your brain would take you far. And he was right about that. But he dropped my report card on the ground and kept walking. And I took that as a sign of, all right, he just sparked a transition. I know for a fact any promising opportunity to play football on the next level was destroyed in that moment. But I called my mom and I was like, all right, Mom, it's time to transition. And this time I was going to do it different. And I've been trying to work on that in life. Sometimes we make decisions based on the association or the connections that we have, instead of having a clear mind and going back to the drawing board and saying, what decision is the best decision for me? And at that point, I didn't learn. I was learning. At that point, I had to learn what it was meant to make a decision that was best for you and your family, because I was always making decisions for others. I have I tend to be more kind-hearted, to care more about, others and making sure and encouraging them. And I'm not saying stop, encouraging those who are listening. It's good to encourage. It's good to be that good teammate. But there comes a time in your life where there are certain decisions where you have to examine it and scale back from everybody and do what's best for you. Because at the end, people will benefit better off, or they will benefit better with you being a better version of yourself. But I didn't get that.
And it is important that you help yourself, because you have to do it for yourself, by yourself, before you can do stuff for other people. Because much like you just kind of documented, everyone is kind of looking out for themselves. Now, I understand what the coach was doing when he talked about the other kids who need scholarships and stuff like that. But what bothers me about that is that's not his decision. It's the college coach's decision. And this is something for all you high school coaches. You're not the college coach. All right.
I got the power. I got the power. I got the power with me. This how euphoria. Feeling so glorious. Forever victorious. Heart of a champion. I got the power with me. Go get the championship rings. I got the power with me. This ain't 8-ball, this just fake, dog. I just played my cards, I just prayed and starved. I had faith, dog, against a great odds. I can't take the glory.
That's not your decision to make. Where, granted, I get you want to help these young boys, but your focus should be about putting a winner on the field and just making sure the boys' grades are right and that they can do something other than sports at the next level. That is the part that frustrates me the most, if you can't tell, is that you high school coaches, you take authority over something you have no control over. It's not even like it's you on film. They're not offering you. They're friends with you as a college coach, but they're going to offer the boy that they see on film, not you. Man, you got me triggered from that. You started something up, Hayward. Come on.
I
did all right, Sean.
This how euphoria. Feeling so glorious. Forever victorious. Heart of a champion. I got the power with me. Go get the championship rings. I got the power with me.
This ain't fake, dog. This just faith, dog. Had no greenbacks. This ain't Draymond's. Had no place, dog. Had no case, dog. Smile when I take my loss, cause they couldn't take my car. Ooh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I got the keys. Die for the dream like a star spangled banner on his no cap. Bone and petite, if I'm bone and petite, man, my song I repeat, let them know that. Feel it when your skin on cold. That hate you receive, wanna make sure you bleed. Try to make you see that will taste of the feed that will make you believe. For the sake of the king. On this pain that I need you. On the other side of the pain, even if it's a champion. Tell me what it say, I can't outcome. Income won't change my outcome. Champ don't stop when the road get tough. Champ only stop when the work get done. I got the